Hello, and once again, we are live with the Modern Mystery School UK EU podcast and YouTube channel. And today we are joined all the way from Tasmania. Cassandra, how are you?
I am very well. Hello from the future.
It's so true. Mind blowing, mind blowing.
Yeah.
Okay, you've already had today, which is amazing. We're just about to start it. Love it. So now we've shared that mind-blowing intro. Tell us, I mean, it's exciting to chat about this because a little bit about your background. You've trained athletes, you've run marathon, going up mountains, all sorts of crazy things. Keeping well, keeping fit. You obviously know how to eat, how to sustain yourself. So coming from that background, why would you want to have a life activation? And then when you had it, what was the experience?
Yeah, that's a interesting question, right? But actually it wasn't that I wanted a life activation. It was actually I had uh, you know, experience. I've optimized the body. I had, gone into biohacking. I wanted to understand the body and the health, and that kind of stemmed into me understanding my mind and the asset of having clear thinking. I knew that professional athletes were really taking the edge on visualization. They were using their mind and really their spiritual health and optimizing that so that they could really delve further in the physical aspect of being able to complete that, go where, be that superhuman. And that really fascinated me, actually. And so in my business, in my physical business that I ran here in Hobart, I started to wake up to that. Well, I would be going out on runs on the mountain and having an incredible spiritual time, like it felt like the mountain was talking with me and I was really connecting. Um, and so I thought, well, if I could probably create something like this for the people that I am serving in my fitness classes. So I incorporated meditation at the end of the class. I incorporated games because I knew that people needed to have fun and have pleasure. And adults don't usually seek that out because they need to be serious. They need to get their work done. They need to, to get all the chores, tick, 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 you know. So I incorporated that. So I was kind of like leaning on the edge. Yeah. And so with every step I took further and further, I realized there was more and more and more. Um, and so when I found the mystery school, I was searching really for an upgrade in my intellectual understanding of spirituality, because in my mind I'd already experienced spirituality. I just needed now to understand where it was coming from, the philosophies and theories and etc., etc. And so I reached out to the mystery school because in my training it stemmed from real science. I knew that there was a path, like to run a marathon. I mean, sure, you can wake up one day and decide to run a marathon. It's going to hurt and it's not going to be pleasurable, but you can do that. You can do that. Um, but the wise way of doing it is to create a plan, to have the structure, to follow advice, to get the professional help if needed, and to follow the wisdom of what came before you. And so I reached out to the mystery school because that was like, well, how much more background, how much more can I really ask for? So I actually rang you, because you're my guide. Hello, audience. You might not know this, but it's this Kate is my guide. Humble brag. But you said, oh, okay, Cassandra, well, that's very nice that you want to get all of this information. Want to take all of these classes. I admire that in you. But there's this one thing that you've got to do. I just suggest that you do it. It's really nice, it's really great. And then once you can do it, then you can take the classes. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I didn't even look it up. I just arrived at your house. And having flown 4 hours, then to arrive in London. And I never get travel sick on a plane. And I was so travel sick. Like, it was incredible purging. It's not something I usually would buy into, but as soon as the plane landed, like all the sickness left. And I came straight from the airport to you, received the life activation, and it was like the most humbling experience of my life. Like, first of all, I walked in to your healing center, and there's magical items everywhere. There's like, amongst real objects, like amongst paperwork, amongst books, like normal things, but subtly there's like symbolism. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I've landed. I've like, here I am, I'm home. um Having not known, didn't even look up what the life activation was, didn't even, and I was receiving it, and I was just remember thinking, oh my goodness, like this magic is real. Oh, and I'm getting to experiencing it. I'm getting to experience it, which is not what I came for. Like, I came to learn about it. I didn't come for the experience of it. Um, you know, so
I,
yeah.
I love that.
So
I love
yeah.
that. Yeah, it's so lovely, isn't it? When we know we've found the place, it's like, okay, something's happening. Don't know what it is, but I'm in the right place. It's okay. I love that part. So what did the life activation, do you think, do for you then? Because you've done so
Hmm.
many different things. I mean,
Yeah.
what makes it stand out, or can you share anything?
Well, it, well, okay. So from that experience, I took myself out for dinner, and I went to an Italian restaurant up the road before I checked into the hotel. And I remember sitting there going, and I had my journal. I was very good. I really wanted to take everything to the next level always. So I had my journal, and I was writing everything down. And I remember writing it, and I've looked at it a couple of different times, and I've like going, this this is the thing that it will change my life. Like, it's the pivotal point, that now my whole life is now open to me. And that's the sense that I really received. So I don't know, because I did lots of things after it, so it's not very easy for me to articulate exactly the thing that I can say, oh, I signed that, I signed that. But it's been 6 years, and having done the life activation, now I'm a practitioner. I have served other people in this capacity. And, I'm never, I mean, it's surprising, but it shouldn't be by now, because everyone is so unique, and it happens in so many different ways. But I really like this idea that people come to a point where they know that, there might be like a glass ceiling or something, and they're coming to a transitional moment in their life. And the life activation then kind of like comes in and sweeps, it's like this big evolution. And I get this feeling of like a spiral, an upward spiral, and it gives you a completely different view and a point of view of the world and your life. And it's always very interesting, because a lot of my clients go, in what, the month after receiving the life activation, they start to really see the limits and blocks that have been infiltrating their life. Like, it's like, they knew it was there, but they couldn't quite see it before. But now that they see it, they don't necessarily see it as something fearful or scary, and they're able to overcome it with such grace and beauty. I only had a client the other day who emailed and said, "Oh, I am actually resolved two issues that I've been having with two different friends of mine, and now I'm seeking out a therapist because I realize I need more help. And so that's the beauty of it, like it can take us in so many different ways, but really it's going to redirect us to where we need to go.
I think that's an amazing explanation. You're so right. It is, and it does, still blow my mind because it's real magic.
It works.
It works. I want that feeling every single time because it is a miracle that's happening right in front of you, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness,
Yeah.
it's very hard to explain unless you've experienced it. But and it doesn't make logical sense. It doesn't work in this mind. We can't make sense of it. But that's what it is. It's outside of logic. And I love that, that you just knew that everything was going to change from that point. I also had that realization. Didn't know what, I didn't know how, didn't know any of those things. I just knew everything was going to be okay. And here we go.
Yeah. Hold on. Hold on.
Hold on. Oh my goodness. Well, our time has whizzed by. Can you believe that already? But we would love to have you back on. I know you've been on the show before. We'd love to have you back on talking about, initiation and other things, because I think it will resonate with a lot of people that have, come from that background of, health, well-being, but also I want to know the technical, information behind what's going on.
I heard Jen this morning on the interview, and she said, I wish I knew it before she went to Harvard. And that resonated with me. I was like, if athletes or anyone working to really push the boundaries of what they can do, if only they had this. Please, it's just going to make everything so much easier.
So much easier. And again, we can connect you no matter where you are. We have practitioners in over 55 countries around the world, so we can get somebody to you, even in Tasmania.
Even in Tasmania. Exactly.
Thank you so much, Cassandra. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you.